I'm Fiona. Welcome to my kitchen. Anyone can make this cake. Even if you've never made a cake in your life, this is the one. I'm going to use my well-worn KitchenAid and sieve in my self-raising flour, 250 grams, and a teaspoon of baking powder, unsalted butter, 250 grams, and my eggs. Now these are 4 large free-range eggs. As with any cake actually, if you can weigh your dry ingredients up even the night before, but as soon as you add the wet ingredients, the cake will start working together and the baking powders will start working. And I've got my 2 unwaxed lemons. So I'm going to grate in my zest. Oh, it smells amazing. This is the perfect cake to have with a cup of tea. It's just fresh, delicious flavours. I'm just going to squeeze the juice of 1 lemon. I'm keeping the other lemon for later on. So now everything's ready and I'm going to start mixing. And the key is not to over mix and then drizzle in my lemon juice last. That's it. It's as simple as that. Now I've got my mixture here. I'm just going to divide it between my 2 tins. I have greased lightly and lined them with baking parchment. They're 2 20-centimetre round sandwich tins. Flatten them like that. So my cakes are all ready to go into my preheated oven, which is 160 fan, for about 25 to 30 minutes. While the cakes are in the oven, I'm going to make my very simple fillings. I have some creme fraiche here, which is actually full fat, but of course, if you're more health conscious, you could use half fat creme fraiche, and some homemade lemon curd, which I'm going to mix a few tablespoons in, just so that it's marbled. There, just mix them loosely together, just like that. And also I made a syrup, which is 5 tablespoons of sugar and the juice of the other lemon that didn't go into the cake, and simply mix it together. Sometimes syrups are gently cooked on the hob, but this is just, that's all it is, mixed together. And I have my fresh raspberries and raspberry jam. For me, there is nothing like delicious, ripe, fresh raspberries. They're my favourite berry, actually. I'll eat them for breakfast, lunch and dinner. But they are especially delicious, I think, with lemon. Lemon and raspberry is a great combination. So that's why I'm putting them together in this cake. Now, I think my cakes are ready. I can smell them. I wish you could smell them, because it's just one of the most wonderful smell. Freshly baked sponge. And to test to see if it's ready, it's springing back to the touch, or you can use the skewer test, and if it comes out clean, it's ready. But you see it's just springing back. There they are. Now, normally with a sponge cake like this, I would leave them to just firm up a little bit on a wire rack in their tins for about a minute or so. But this has a delicious lemon syrup. So I'm just, with a cocktail stick, pricking a few holes all over the surface of the 2 cakes. And then I'm going to spoon over my syrup all over the cake, like that. And I'm going to let these cakes stay in their tins until they're stone cold. Because with any cake, if you try and ice it when the cake is still warm, you'll end up A, with a soggy cake, and B, the icing will all just run off and you'll have a bit of a disaster. So you have to have a little bit of patience here. There it is. I quite often decorate cakes using edible crystallized flowers or petals. The important thing is that the flower is an edible flower. Some are poisonous, so you have to be a bit careful. And the other thing is that they're dry, freshly picked, and then crystallized. And it's the simplest thing in the world. Egg white which I've got here in my little bowl, and some caster sugar and the flowers or the petals. And these are rose petals, so just paint them all over the petal like that. Just have to make sure you cover every part of the petal. Shake the excess caster sugar off like that. There it is. It's as simple as that. In fact, I can't think of an easier, beautiful, edible decoration than this. There we are, that's it. The cakes have been cooling. In fact, they're completely cold now. So I'm going to turn the cakes out of their tins onto a board like that. And then I've got a bread knife here, and I'm going to cut them so that we're 4 thin layers of cake. That. So, base layer, and I'm going to take my raspberry jam, smells wonderful, and just spoon it, a few spoonfuls, depends how generous you want to be, all over the base, like that, and then with a palette knife, spread the jam all over like that. And I have my fresh raspberries, which I'm just going to scatter all over like that. And make sure when you're doing a cake like this that there are raspberries all around the edge like that, because that's the bit, of course, that you'll see. And then the next layer of cake is going to go on top of this, like that. And my lemon curd, which is just marbled in with the creme fraiche, like that. Gosh, this looks so delicious. Third layer, just a repeat of the raspberry jam and raspberries. Right, so all the raspberries around the edge again. Don't forget to save some for the top decoration. And my final layer of cake, a sprinkling of icing sugar. It's very rustic, this cake, which I like about it. And remember that, it's a very good quote this, that you don't need an occasion to make a cake because the cake will make the occasion. Just a scattering of raspberries on the top. And crystallized rose petals, just to finish the cake off. And there is my tea for two triple lemon and raspberry cake.